But he talks in this complaint, Reed, about fearing for his life, not just while he was working for Sean Combs, but afterwards. He tells stories about physical violence, about a time where he actually had to drive 100 miles an hour to try to escape Mr. Combs, and says he didn't call the police because he worried that that would be a death sentence.
Sean Diddy Combs' team fumbled for the mute button after Deontay Nash's lawsuit filed on Wednesday crashed through the defense's wall on live court feeds, drawing audible gasps and sharp rebukes across social and legacy networks. 24 hours before the next hearing on NBC, and every major newswire lawyers traded insults while Combs' own family was photographed outside the courthouse, visibly shaken character references. Rushed in at 2:16 p.m. on Tuesday, bought him nothing but another round of public mockery and a warning from prosecutors. No bail, no leniency. Not now. Not ever. The lawyers' reassurances sound more desperate with every hour, their plea for a slap on the wrist sentence landing with the credibility of a used car ad. Judge Arun Subramanian has already shot down their best bail offer. $50 million gone in a flash. Diddy isn't going anywhere except deeper into the system. One court clerk overheard by Fox camera summed up the mood behind the bench. He's finished. There's nothing left to buy.
Diddy Combs is facing a new lawsuit just weeks before he's scheduled to be sentenced on prostitution-related charges. Former stylist Deontay Nash accuses the disgraced music mogul of sexual abuse and violence.
Nash lawsuit didn't just drop another accusation into the already overstuffed file. It detonated what little insulation Combs had left. Nash, a former stylist who worked for Diddy and Cassie Ventura for a decade, paints a decades-long dark world of abuse, physical violence, and intimate coercion. The details in the public filing Combs groping, grinding, and pinching Nash's body. At a 2013 freeway chase at nearly 100 miles an hour with Nash afraid to go to the police because he truly believed that would be fatal. Move the story from sordid to lethal. Nash says Combs strangled him against a car for the crime of going out to dinner with Cassie. In a statement to Rolling Stone, Nash spells it out. Sean Combs has never taken accountability, and so many others. Nash's lawyer, Katie Lamas, didn't hedge either, calling Diddy a danger to others with a power structure so intimidating that it kept witnesses silent. For years, these are not anonymous, late-breaking claims. Nash testified at the criminal trial months ago, and only after being subpoenaed. He says he would have never come forward without court compulsion. This detail alone destroys the talking point that all these claims are cash grabs from opportunists. As Diddy's attorney insists,
Reed, so he outlines allegations of battery, assault, sexual violence, physical and psychological abuse, labor trafficking, he says. And a lot of what Deontay Nash says in this complaint mirrors testimony that we heard during that trial, both from Nash and from others, like Sean Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, who was a key witness at that trial.
The legal team's last-ditch gambit paint Diddy as a broken man suffering in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Eating Mandy food and shuffling through endless lockdowns triggered a backlash inside the prison and beyond. Supporters tried to spin the tale of a star ruined by inhumane conditions, with NBC and CNN both running B-roll of Combs. Lawyers crying for mercy, and his mother looking on in horror. The reality behind bars looks different. 3 correctional staffers cited in a New York magazine probe say he hasn't just survived, he's adapted and then some. He's not eating slop. He's not in solitary. He's running business from inside. One guard alleges, and he's got his old people making calls for him. Another guard now on leave claims he overheard staff being paid to turn a blind eye. When did he sell plate hosts to private meetings? Business as usual, minus the red carpet word. Spread that even behind razor wire, Diddy's treating prison like the after party. And if anyone doubts it, the whispers about Kingpin Combs have reached the judge's chambers. A former label executive contacted by The Sun says Diddy's team is beyond desperate to keep a lid on these power play rumors. He's not scared in there. He's got guards who owe him. He's got other inmates in his debt. The guy can get anything he wants except his name back. Inmates have been seen auditioning for Diddy in the yard, pitching him business ideas, and on 2 occasions trying to trade favors for access to his lawyers. Holmes' defense points to a record free of official infractions, but prosecutors have filed 2 memos sealed as of September 18th, demanding an investigation into reports of contraband cell phones and inappropriate privileges. The details remain off the record, but the message is clear. Diddy's lawyers can wail about solitary and bad food judges, prosecutors, and at least 3 federal agencies are now watching his every move. If he was hoping for sympathy, the strategy's already backfired. Each rumor of prison king life further infuriates survivors and fuels the public already rabid for accountability.
I'm sorry, I'm just like really, I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck during those years. You're still stuck 21 years.
This is the dirty secret. Nobody at Bad Boy, no label, and no CA handler wants to address. Diddy's world hasn't collapsed. It's mutated instead of public shame or reflection. He's allegedly running power plays behind bars, clinging to whatever leverage he can buy. The idea that he's still calling shots, still pulling strings, makes a mockery of the justice system and every victim who risks career safety and sanity to testify. What good is a sentencing if the defendant can order business meetings from a cell? Which judge under this pressure will let him out early? Supporters can send character letters all they want. Each new page is a punchline. Another reminder that Diddy's extraordinary life is now a cautionary tale for anyone still clinging to his coattails.
Afraid of coming forward. They've been afraid of what he could potentially do to them within the industry, what he could do to them professionally, maybe even personally. And so yes, it's been a dark secret they've held on to for a very, very long time.
Even as this spectacle unfolds inside Brooklyn's most notorious cell block, the threats hanging over Diddy's empire extend far beyond concrete walls. The Nash complaint tees up a fresh crisis, the hidden vault of evidence, allegedly stashed by Cassie Ventura, who's been fighting defense cross-examinations for days. A former security aide tells Rolling Stone that Ventura holds multiple recordings, video, audio, digital backups that could not only confirm abuse, but blow the lid off. Who else joined those infamous parties? The risk is existential. Diddy's old circle includes artists, executives, and Hollywood A-listers who circled his orbit for years. The rumor, which no one at Interscope or Def Jam wants to address on record, is that the next wave of evidence doesn't just implicate Diddy. If Venus cachet is real, and 3 industry veterans insist it is, it could flatten careers and end label dynasties from LA to London. Diddy might be locked up, but the ground is about to open under everyone. Whoever held court at one of his legendary freak-offs, every phone call, every NDA, every dollar spent to keep the machine running, it all starts to look like collateral damage waiting for the next leak. The next subpoena, the next midnight knock.
I thought he was this clean businessman who rise to the top because he was such a powerful and, smart, educated man. I had no idea that he had this other side to him. And when I started to get exposed to his lifestyle, I started to really realize, this guy has an addiction. It's not just, once every few weeks. It's every day, every hour.
Cassie Ventura stunned the entire courtroom on May 17th, admitting under oath she would trade back every cent of her $20 million settlement just to erase the humiliating freak-off parties from her memory. This wasn't a trembling breakdown. It was the kind of raw confession that sends lawyers scrambling and every bystander glued to the live stream. The legal team tried to flip it, pushing the line that Cassie's pain is nothing but a play for more sympathy. But Ventura's words held the room. I would have agency and autonomy, she said, her voice carrying past the microphones, past the judge right into the headlines. Suddenly, the payout is no longer proof of a cash grab. It's the price tag on an entire decade lost. What really rattles the industry is the suspicion that this isn't just about closure or revenge. Cassie, the witness prosecutors call their ace, might actually be holding cards that could finish the game for good.
And this is the flight where Diddy said to her,
showed her
she
the video,
testified
showed her
that
the freak-off video.
He showed her a video of a freak-off that she participated in and said, if you don't participate in another freak-off when we get to New York, I'm going to put this video out. I'm going to send it to your mother.
And that's coercion.
She testified
if it's true.
to that.
If the jury
believed her,
yeah.
That's coercion. They would have Cassie.
Behind the courthouse drama, the old rumor will have spun up a new, dangerous question. What if Cassie's testimony was only the warning shot? We're hearing from 3 well-placed insiders, 2 former tour managers, 1 major label fixer that Cassie is sitting on hidden evidence from those infamous parties, not just texts, not old tabloid scoops. We're talking about tapes, unedited, untouched, allegedly showing faces' names. Moments that nobody thought would ever leave the mansion, as one LA industry veteran told Variety last week. That footage isn't a bargaining chip, it's a nuke. If true, the existence of these recordings would explain the suddenly empty red carpets, the wall of silence from stars who once called Diddy their brother, and the tight smiles at every award show after party in a town built on deals and denials. No one wants to be the next name trending for the wrong reason. One of Cassie's own aide was spotted leaving the courthouse, clutching a padded file folder. When pressed, she dodged every question, but the message was loud. Whatever Cassie has, it's locked away waiting. The question that everyone's afraid to answer is simple. Who else was in the room with Nash's lawsuit laying out a pattern of abuse that spanned years and multiple victims? The circle of risk grows. The legal filings named more than one of Diddy's top assistants, security staff, and even bodyguards. Cassie's claims reached back over a decade through so many freak-off parties, each one at potential time bombs. She described in excruciating detail how she was coerced into performances that sometimes went on for days, leaving her with bruises, trauma, and a sense that every moment was being documented. The prosecution played hotel surveillance of Combs dragging Ventura down a hallway. One clip that for a moment silenced even his most loyal defenders. If those moments were filmed inside the mansion, and if copies exist outside, Diddy's control the risks stretch from hip-hop to Hollywood. From label presidents to streaming darlings, the industry. Silence isn't solidarity, it's self-preservation. A desperate hope that they're not the next face in Cassie's vault.
Same kind of extortion that we heard when Cassie took the stand and testified on that airplane ride back from France. Diddy said, "You don't do a freak-off, I'm going to release one of the freak-off videos that you are profiled in and humiliate you."
Look around since Nash's complaint hit the docket. Not one Alistair who once toasted with Combs in the Hamptons has piped up in his defense. Even the standard social media thoughts and prayers are missing. When the stakes are this high, silence is a headline. 3 label veterans speaking on background to Rolling Stone insist this isn't because they believe Diddy is innocent. Everyone's terrified. One said they're not worried about being canceled for supporting him. They're worried there's a video or a text or a DM with their name on it. When a defendant this powerful false, the splash reaches every guest who ever signed an NDA, every publicist who ever managed a scandal. The questions are everywhere. Who saw what? Who covered it up? Who else is waiting for the midnight knock? Even the big law firms, usually eager to scoop up high-billing clients, are keeping their distance, quietly whispering about exposure, risks, and client conflicts. It's not loyalty, it's fear. The rumor about Cassie's secret recordings is now the ultimate ticking clock. According to 2 security staffers from Diddy's, New York townhouse whispers about hidden devices started years ago, but no one took it seriously until the trial began. Now, insiders claim Cassie has kept backup drives, not just for her own safety, but as leverage. The FBI raided 2 properties earlier this year looking for freak-off supplies. Over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and enough party favors to supply a festival. But what they really wanted, 3 sources claim, was the rumored archive, whether it's stored on a cloud, a flash drive, or an old-school tape in a safe deposit box. Nobody knows, but the effect is the same. Everyone from streaming executives to DJs to label heads are waiting, dreading the next big leak. If even a fraction of these files surface, careers won't just end, they'll vaporize. Nobody's reputation is built to survive this kind of nuclear fallout.
That video is always in their mind.
It's
and that's
a huge
hard.
issue.
I mean, we've talked about the fact that there's sometimes videos or photos or what don't get admitted to a case because they're
overly
prejudicial.
Right. This is getting admitted. Both sides.
It's definitely getting admitted.
Both sides agree it's going to be admissible. The defense has a hurdle to jump. I will tell you that they vote.
Court transcripts show that prosecutors grilled Ventura about the tapes during her cross-examination. She was coy. She never admitted to holding them, but never outright denied it. The defense pushed, and she held her ground calm and measured outside. Reporters noted that 2 of her former bodyguards left court looking as pale as funeral lilies. As for Diddy's remaining supporters, they're not riding to the rescue. They're scrambling to check old alibis, combing through texts, and trying to remember what they saw, what they heard, and who else was there. One producer whose platinum hits bankrolled half of Bad Boy's resurgence has quietly scrubbed Diddy's name from his socials and called in crisis managers. As a VP at a rival label told us, it's like a fire in the server room. You don't know it's burning until the alarms go off. This is what a cultural reckoning looks like in real time. Industry giants frozen by the prospect of total exposure. Billion-dollar brands holding meetings with legal teams before updating their homepage and A-list. Actors suddenly canceling talk show appearances with scheduling conflicts. Even the streaming platforms once eager to make a docuseries out of Diddy's wildest years are ghosting their own development teams, leaving projects in the dust. One Hulu executive asked about the canceled Combs family show told Variety, "We're not discussing that property at this time." Translation: no one wants their logo anywhere near the coming blast zone. With Nash's complaint blazing across every media feed and the sentencing only weeks away, the atmosphere inside the business is less innocent until proven guilty and more cut your losses before the next leak.
People I don't think realized was he had cameras all over the place, unbeknownst to them. And now he has all that footage, supposedly. This is what I'm told. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens if, you're a huge iconic, TV star or movie star, and you're in some very, very...
Who's getting the money?
As Nash's allegations drive the nail in, and with the judge already denying every last-ditch appeal, Diddy's empire is a sinking ship. The desperation behind those character references is almost comic. One associate even described Diddy's educational program for inmates as if a couple of business tips behind bars could wash away years of abuse claims. The reality, no matter what his lawyers promise, there is no deal, no extraordinary case, no magic defense. Left Nash's account is backed by years of receipts from bruises to near-fatal car chases, all reinforcing what Cassie and others have said from the stand. It's a pattern, not a one-off. The prosecution, armed with sealed memos about privileges in jail, isn't just aiming for a longer sentence. They're out to make an example to show that influence stops at the cell door and that no amount of industry money can scrub the ledger clean. And now the true wild card. If Cassie's rumored vault cracks open, the aftershocks will reach places even the FBI hasn't mapped yet. This isn't just about a fallen mogul or a few canceled contracts. It's the fear that half of Hollywood's untouchables are just one hard drive away from the next trial, the next headline, the next YouTube exposed marathon. So who's next? Who's bracing for their name to show up in a filing, a leak, or a courtroom sketch? Is this the moment the silence finally breaks, or will the real stories stay locked away, waiting for the next scandal to pull them into the light? Let us know in the comments, which celebrity do you think is sweating right now, and what bombshell do you expect to hit next? Buckle up. Because in the land of untouchables, nobody is safe forever until the next scandal breaks. Stay sharp. And remember, in this business, the real headlines are always hiding in the shadows.